Next question is from Karen E. Izzo. I'm looking to get my 11-year-old son started on weightlifting. He is an active athlete involved in football, soccer, wrestling, and lacrosse. What are the basic moves I should get him started with, and at what point should I introduce him to a MAPS program?
First off, what a great blend of sports. You know, they talk about those studies on young athletes. I mean, you got wrestling, lacrosse, soccer, football. Now, technically, you probably don't need to do any additional strength training if they're doing a lot of these things often.
Yeah, they're pretty active.
Pretty active. They're moving their bodies in different directions. Like, if it was one sport, then I would recommend certain exercises to offset maybe overuse.
Yeah, I'm not sure this person even has an off season.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what the seasons are for all these, but you guys know better than I do.
If you're running
it's got to be year long, right?
Yeah, if you're a four-sport athlete, you're running year round.
If anything, it's like for me, it would just be mastering like one or two of these compound lifts, but like with light load. And if you wanted to even introduce that, but to your point, there's probably not even an off-season opportunity right now because 4 sports is a lot.
Here's what's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck with your 11-year-old. If they're in fact doing all these sports and it's a year long, the biggest bang for your buck is going to be sleep and diet with an 11-year-old. Make sure they go to bed at the same time every night. They're not on electronics before bed. That's a big one now. Make sure they wake up at the same time every morning, including weekends. And so go to bed, wake up at the same time, no electronics before bed, and then make sure that they eat adequate protein. So have him eat his body weight in grams of protein. Those would be the biggest things.
I'd probably teach him some very basic mobility moves so that way he could prime and do these things before a lot of these sports to make sure that the joints are supported and provide stability there. So just added reinforcements because this is a lot of demand on the body. And so I honestly don't think that adding load and any kind of workouts would be beneficial.
If there's maybe an off season.
Yeah, no. If this kid had and by the way, I want to make a point that even though we're saying that he doesn't have an off season, and that's when we would do this. It's what you're doing is perfect. I wouldn't change the sports that he's doing.
It's a nice blend.
And playing four sports in a year at that age is the time you do this.
Yes.
Like this is like so good for him.
Yeah, he's busy
to be doing all this stuff, and it's just. But thinking because I'm sure he's probably a high performing athlete because he's doing all these different sports. Thinking that I want to do more. In pushing his body in the strength and training, that's actually not ideal. It'd be you making sure that he's getting adequate protein and rest and recovery and mobility stuff would be the best way to complement it. And then organically what is going to happen as he gets older is he'll probably narrow down to probably 3 of these sports and then eventually have an off season. And then in the off season or in summers when he has time off from the sport, like this is where he gets introduced.
The hardest thing with an 11-year-old kid playing all these sports is going to be diet, 100%. Getting him to eat adequate protein.
And sleep probably.
And sleep. Those 2 things are going to be the big. But if he has an off season, basic strength training where he learns movements or suspension training where he moves his body. But at some point what may happen, he's 11, so it's not now, but at some point he may need to put on weight. He may really like football and coach is like, you got to get a little bigger, a little stronger. In which case, then you want to do an off season where you're doing less of the sport and doing it a couple days a week, like 2 days a week of strength training, full body, and eating calories. Young man lifting weights, eating enough calories, they put on strength and muscle in a pretty effective way. Look, if you love the show, head over to mindpumpfree.com and check out all of our free guides. We have a lot of free fitness guides. You can also find us all on Instagram. Justin is at Mind Pump Justin. I'm at Mind Pump DeStefano, and Adam is at Mind Pump Adam.